What's going on, everybody? This is Nick. I'm back with part 2 of the China series in Hearts of Iron 4, Road to 56 mod enabled. In the last part, we did a couple big things. First of all, Japan went non-aligned. So, essentially, for those of you who don't know, they went down a part of their focus tree that is not going to lead to a direct war with me. So I don't have to worry about Japan right now. I can take time and build up. We also got rid of a couple of the warlords, one warlord, and we also got rid of Mao. The Shaanxi accepted our offer and were peacefully annexed, and we took out Mao at the end of the last episode. So, plan for this episode, as right now we're doing the national reform to get rid of the corrupted economy. I don't remember if it gets rid of it completely, but it doesn't say it modifies it by anything. So I'm assuming he just gets rid of it. I don't know why I wouldn't say remove, though. And then afterwards, we are going to continue down the tree here and try and get all of the warlords to submit. Hopefully, really the only one I want to submit is the Guangxi clique. They can be kind of a pain in the butt. The rest of them are pretty easy to take over. So, yeah, we're going to keep on moving. Did a couple things off camera. Nothing all that exciting. We got another military factory. We're producing all of our artillery right now to try and get to a point where we can add them into our divisions. We have a good surplus of infantry equipment, but I'm going to let it sit on the outdated equipment just a little bit longer. I don't want to run out. That definitely cripples your ability to fight a little bit. Believe it or not, soldiers need guns to be able to shoot things. So we're going to continue getting ready to unite China. Once we have the area united, we can start looking at striking at Japan. The only problem is I don't remember what they do in terms of alliances with Germany. If they join the Axis, it's going to be considerably harder to go after them. So let's hope they don't do that. I think it's less likely because they went unaligned. Now they don't get the bonuses to, same ideology to join the Germans. So hopefully they don't join the Axis. If that's the case, I will probably end up going after them. The only thing we really need to do is kick them off of the mainland, and I will be perfectly happy with taking their offer that they give out after kicking them off the mainland. France is now in a civil war. Communist France versus the Democratic France. I wonder who's going to win this. 21 to 51, 22 to... It's pretty even. Looks like France, the Democratic France that is, has a small factory advantage. Yeah, they've got a couple more factories than the Communist Uprising. They got a lot more civilian factories. So I would imagine, unless the Soviets really step in and help out, which they aren't right now. Mongolia is, but the Soviets aren't. That's weird. I guess the French Republic isn't getting help either. So this is really just straightforward, one-on-one. We'll see. I don't know. I find it odd that a communist revolution popped up and it's not going to win, but I suppose it could happen. So we're going to go ahead and unify China. So for anybody that might not know, I'm assuming most people that are watching this would have an idea, but that's going to give an event to these three countries here that essentially gives them the option to either accept me peacefully annexing them, and if they refuse, I get a free war goal on them. I believe the war goal is puppet, but you can annex them, and that's always what I end up doing. So, yeah, because I'm pretty sure we have core claims on all these. Yeah. So you don't get the negatives of not having core claims in terms of manpower and such coming from that province. So when that's an option, I always like to go ahead and annex them. It's always comical late game China when you have 30 plus million manpower on limited conscription or no conscription. My brother just dropped off a package. I believe it's filters for my fish tank. Alright, we're going to bump up the speed a little bit here. Get a little more done. I'd like in this video to have at least taken out these warlords and begin. I'm also probably going to demand Tibet in this video. That's going to be available right after we finish this. And in the past, they usually accept it. So let's hope that continues here. You can also do the Xinjiang issue. The problem with that is it needs you have a manpower requirement, and I do not have that in the field. Though I could start training some, but I think I'd probably rather change my division. Okay, well these guys are 10 width. That's solid. These guys are only 8. I could actually bump this up to 10. We have plenty in storage to deal with that. And obviously manpower is not an issue. So we're going to bump that up to 10. And we are going to train a couple units. Where are we going to train them? We'll just pop them in Nanjing. We will just train 12 divisions for now. We could train more. I'm not overly concerned about having a large amount of units right now. If we were worried about Japan coming after us, it'd be different. But with Japan going down the non-aligned route, they're not going to be going to war with us for at least a couple years. So we're going to just... Okay, hang on. We got some events. Okay, so I believe this is the Ma clique. They refused. Somebody submitted. It was these guys down here. The Union clique, I think is who that was. And Guangxi is yet to respond. So we're going to do demand Tibet. Really, it's really ideal just to, as fast as you can, unite China. See, I don't think he has very many divisions, so I'm actually just going to draw up a war plan real quick, and we're just going to go straight after him. There's really not much to worry about from the Ma clique. Like I said, the Guangxi is typically the only one that puts up much of a fight. The Union can be a pain simply because of the terrain they're in. So they can get dug in pretty good in these mountain provinces, and that can be a pain in the butt to get through. But overall, you don't have much to worry about except for the Guangxi clique. And the Ma clique is by far the easiest in my opinion. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that, and we get the bonuses from being focused on the war, not having so many corruption problems. We're gonna keep producing more artillery. Eventually, I think I'd like to begin producing medium tanks, simply because we're going to bump down to 3 speed for now. Medium tanks use a lot of tungsten, I believe, and we have plenty of tungsten, and we have access to plenty more through conquering. Also, somebody won the French Civil War. It was the French Commune. All right, so that doesn't really affect us much, except for the fact that Europe is going to have more than likely a Comintern ally in the middle of it now. And I believe that was the Guangxi clique folding. Yes, it was. Awesome. So the Ma clique were the only ones that refused. So we're just going to eat them up quickly. We're going to move this. We're actually going to put these guys on the Tibet border. Just because I feel like we don't want to put a full 24 width army on that border. There's not a ton of border to... he would be a great example. I never use them as generals. I'm sure there's reasoning enough to do so, but I've never felt the need. So I am actually going to send these guys up onto the border with Japan. We are taking military factories by conquering the Ma clique and via all the warlords submitting down here. So we've got a bunch of units right here. I think I'm actually going to make another army out of them. There. So now we've got another army here. We'll just send them down onto the Indochina border here. Are they actually called Indochina? That's weird. I've never seen them called Indochina before. They did go non-aligned. I don't know if they start that way. I always thought these guys were democratic because they were puppets of France. But actually, they aren't even puppets of France anymore. We actually are probably going to eat them eventually, because I bet you, yeah, they got like no units. Now they also have like no factories, but I believe they got some good resources down here. Yeah, they got a bunch of rubber, and then they got some tungsten and chromium up here. So there's no reason not to eat them, really. I mean, that's all there is to it. So I don't know why you guys aren't moving. Let me tell you guys to execute aggressively, because we shouldn't. This war should already be over, if I'm being honest. But that's okay. We are going to tell this guy to head to the capital as well. He's going to also pass through there. I'm pretty sure once we take the capital, they'll probably capitulate, especially because we're taking land everywhere, not just the capital. So already the Republic of China is looking quite dense. I mean, we are very thick, and I enjoy that very much. This game is all about font size. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If anybody says this game is about anything other than getting the biggest font size you can, they're wrong. I suppose we could use our planes. I'm assuming there's a way to get them in range. We can move them over here. That might even be a little closer, but if nothing else, we can get our bombers over here. I doubt the Mach Click has any planes to stop us with, so we're gonna get a cutoff here without even really trying. So I could micromanage this and make it go a little faster. I'm not, simply because it's not that big of a deal. It's still 1937, and with the impending threat of Japan not there at the moment, I'm not overly worried about conquering these guys in as short a time as possible. So I am more or less just... Oh, those guys took off, so I'm actually going to take one of you. You're going to stop him. Of course, I didn't stop him before he could get into combat with my unit, because that would be too easy. Nice. The divisions we cut off here are about ready to cease existing. Still making the outdated guns. I'll probably switch that after we finish up this war. I'll be interested to see what Tibet says. Assuming they accept, then we've pretty much done most of the unification process, with the exception of Japan's pieces of China that they've taken, which is going to be a little bit later on. And then obviously Mongolia, parts of Mongolia are technically parts of modern-day China, I believe anyways. And then obviously these communist warlords that are over here, I think they're both, or actually this one's not aligned. These guys over here, those are Chinese warlords too. So once we get the manpower in the field, we'll go ahead and we'll demand those areas as well. Down here on the French, and I'm actually going to draw up a battle plan. I don't know. Okay, we got demand Tibet. We're going to pause it real quick. So now we've done all we can over here. I was debating what I wanted to go down. There are some ways I can, improve my national spirits, because there's a lot of really bad national spirits you start off with as China, and I believe some of these cancel, or at least one of these cancels one of the big ones. Let me see. Is it this one? This one. I think it was this one, actually. I'll have to look and see if that got rid of corrupted economy. Anyways, I decided I wanted to work on my research, because a lot of these industry ones, you have to have all of China in order to properly in order to use them. You can see here, there's parts of it that I can't do. Like, I'd be able to do this one I couldn't, and that one I couldn't. Maybe that would change. Northeast, no, that wouldn't change. So until I actually unify all of China, this is not going to be a very great path to go down because I'm going to get stuck basically after this. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to go for overall improved research, because if you go down that path, you can get rid of your public illiteracy, I believe right here. Yeah. So you also have to have more than 100 factories. So that's going to take a minute. We only have 63 at the moment. I have started to build factories. So we will hopefully be able to switch here before too long. All right, we're gonna continue playing. I'm getting a phone call, and I'm not gonna answer it. I'm gonna let it go to voicemail. All right, so Tibet submitted. That's good. And with that, we got another factory we can use. So we are going to take that capital. Let's look at their capitulation status. All right, they're going to capitulate right now. Yep. Awesome. So with that, we have taken out all the warlords in our immediate border. Now we just have to deal with the holdings of Japan and the communist and, I didn't know these guys were here for the longest time, but the communist neighbors. So we are just going to take all states. Of course I can't. I gotta pass because this game's peace treaties stink. Alrighty, and just like that, you can see we've already unified a very large portion of China. It's only 1937. That's kind of what I mean when I say a lot of people underestimate the kind of playthrough you can have as China. A lot of people see China and they think of them as, just a underdeveloped waste of time. They think they take too long to get going, and with the AI, I'd say that might be correct. The AI is not very good at handling China in a lot of cases, but as a player, you can really take advantage of the fact that going down the right parts of the focus tree, you can unite a lot of China very quickly. And you'll start to see that my manpower is going to grow exponentially. So I'm going to lose some of my production or construction speed, and I'll have fewer factories to build with. We are going to get rid of him because stability. So now we're in a position where we have to decide where exactly are we going to go next. Now I can't go after Indochina just yet. I think there's a part of my focus tree that allows me to do so. I could be mistaken, but I feel like there is a part of the focus tree that will allow me to go after them. I've already decided I'm probably going to go down continue the people's, I'm going to mispronounce this, probably tutelage, I think is how it's pronounced. Just to stay non-aligned. The only other path I really would want to do is revive the New Life movement, because going fascist does have its benefits. There's a lot of I think this is what I was thinking of actually. You can use this in your focus tree and demand the areas that belong to Indochina here. But I don't think I'm going to go fascist. I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with non-aligned, especially with Japan being non-aligned. If there's a chance they would actually want to ally, I wouldn't be completely against that. If they were to form like the co-prosperity spear or something, or if I were to form a faction, which I'll be able to do, I would not be against doing so at all with them. Let's see, how are our guns doing? We are at 9,000 surplus. Artillery's doing well. I am curious. Sorry, I forget how to play this game sometimes. Support artillery. This is going to give us a lot more soft attack. Okay, cool. I can do this, and we will still have extra in storage. So I'm going to do that. And I have plenty of army experience to do this with. Support artillery. We'll have negative 91, but we're not at war with anybody right now. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Mexico Civil War. Probably. All right. See, this is a very nice thing that happens over time. The more factories you build, the better your industry debuffs get. They get considerably less harsh as time goes on, and that's a lot of China, is essentially surviving the early game, putting yourself in a situation where you can take advantage of all the benefits they have, so that later on, when your debuffs are no longer so harsh, you can actually focus on becoming a major nation. I might be a major nation already, to tell you the truth. I don't know. Let's check. Why not? Major countries. It says I am. I don't know if that's because I'm a player, but it says I'm a major nation. So, oddly enough, most major nations don't like me. Sweden's a major nation? That's interesting. They haven't eaten anybody. Oh, it's because they're ahead of a faction, I bet. Let's see. We can tell by the color. What color is... Yeah, okay. Sweden's the head of the Northern Lights, so that's why they're considered a major nation. So I believe that I would be considered a major nation here. I'm going to continue building civilian factories. Best way to go early on, in my opinion, and seems to be the general consensus amongst other players as well. Because civilian factories really help you kind of barrel roll into better production. So we're gonna up the speed a little bit here. Sadly, there's not a whole lot going on at the moment. I think probably the next move is I'm gonna try and get my manpower up to... Oh, India is independent now. Leadership purges in Soviet Union. Is Britain doing something funky? Or are they just getting rid of their colonies? Or was that India's own doing? That might have been India's doing. India is... Oh, they might be going communist, actually. So I'm going to go for mechanical computing, I think, here. We got excavation 1 done. That's great. We're going to continue and do... Yeah, we're going to do construction first. We've got our first chunk of troops out now. I'm just going to assign them to this army here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and end the episode there. It's about the same length as the other one. It doesn't feel like we did a ton, but looking at the map, you can definitely tell we took care of some things. We took out the Ma clique by force, and Tibet, the Yunnan clique, and the Guangxi clique all submitted to us via the focus tree requirements. So I'm going to go ahead and end things off there. We are going to change our national focus here. We need to invest in the industry in order to continue that focus tree path. And we got another research slot, and we're going to do the improved machine tools with that. All right, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave comments, suggestions, corrections, anything I'm doing wrong, anything I could do better. I'm always open to learning. I've got quite a bit of time in this game, but I understand I'm not perfect. If you haven't played China, I 100% recommend you give them a try. They're my favorite country in the game by far. So the gameplay they offer is so unique compared to anything else. You start off feeling like a minor nation, but you really do have a very easy path to becoming a major power. And you know, when executed correctly, you can see you can really unite a lot of land really quickly. I mean, it's only 1937. We've got a good portion of China under the control of the Republic of China. My font is extremely attractive, and we're basically in a position where we get to decide what do we want to do next, who do we want to go after. I think probably the most obvious choice is to take out whoever wins this little civil war, and that just requires us to get our manpower up to 750k in the field. But other than that, there's not much to it. So, like I said, if you have any interest at all, I recommend giving China a try. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next part.